I, 25M, have been working as an intern at a small marketing firm for 3 months. I was told that my role was to help with social media management and data entry. At first, it seemed like a great opportunity to gain experience and build my resume. But things took a dark turn when our manager, Rachel, 28F, started micromanaging me every single day. She would send me multiple emails an hour, asking for tiny tasks that were already completed, or asking me to do things I was explicitly told not to do. And if I didn't respond immediately, she would berate me over the phone, telling me that I was holding up the team and that I was clearly not competent. One day, Rachel asked me to post a certain status on our company's Facebook page, but only after she had already posted something else that contradicted it. When I pointed this out to her, she got furious and told me that I was being too literal and that I needed to think outside the box. But here's the thing. Our boss, Mark 35M, is always on vacation or in meetings. Rachel is basically running the show around here, and I'm just a pawn. Last week, I asked Rachel if we could discuss my workload and see if there were any tasks that I could delegate to others. She told me that she was too busy to talk about it, but then proceeded to waste an hour of my time talking about her weekend plans. When I finally tried to leave for the day, she told me that I still had work to do and that I wasn't done yet. So I stayed late, even though I had already completed all of my tasks. As I was packing up to leave, Rachel told me that if I ever did anything like that again, it would be considered insubordination and that I would get fired. She then proceeded to call our HR department, claiming that I was being disloyal and that they needed to intervene. I'm 90% sure that Rachel is making all of this up, but she's also very good at playing the victim. And now, I'm starting to think that maybe I am the asshole for not speaking up sooner. Am I the asshole for feeling frustrated and overworked? I, 25M, have been working as a data analyst for a small nonprofit organization for 3 years. We're all about transparency and accountability, so we make sure everyone's on the same page. So, yesterday I received an email from our CEO asking me to redo my entire analysis of our donor database because someone high up, I don't know who, decided it wasn't aligned with the organization's goals. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I've heard some weird ideas come out of that guy's office before. Anyway, I spend hours rerunning reports and whatnot, finally get everything done and submit it back to him. And here comes another email asking me to change the format of the entire thing because it looks too spreadsheety. Now, I've had enough. So I write an email to our CEO, who's also on the board, explaining how ridiculous this is and asking him if he's been having some kind of existential crisis or something. I mean, come on, it's just data analysis. Here's the kicker. Our CEO responds with a sternly worded message telling me that I'm being uncooperative and that I need to better understand the organization's vision. Vision? Dude, our mission statement is 2 pages long. Now, I know some of you are thinking, just suck it up and do what he says. But honestly, this guy has zero clue about how his organization works. And yesterday, I found out that someone in a similar role to mine made a presentation to the board last month where they recommended getting rid of 75% of our staff and outsourcing everything. So, here's my question. AITA for refusing to redo my analysis and tell this guy what a joke he is? I, 25M, have been working as a customer service rep at a large retail company for about a year now. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a pretty soul-sucking job from the start. So, my manager Rachel, she's always on my case about something. You're not meeting your sales quotas, or you need to be more friendly on the phone. I've tried to explain to her that some customers are just rude and unreasonable, but she never listens. Needless to say, I'm really unhappy with my job right now. And Rachel's constant micromanaging and lack of empathy are driving me crazy. AITA for not using the script and instead offering the customer a refund? Anyway, yesterday was a typical day at work. I spent most of the time dealing with complaints from customers who were being super unreasonable. One guy called in and yelled at me for like 10 minutes because his shirt didn't fit right. Another lady wanted to return a pair of shoes that she'd only worn once. But the worst part of my day came when Rachel told me that I needed to up my game and make more sales if I wanted to get a raise. So, she gave me this script to use on customers who are hesitant to buy something. The script says, I completely understand your concerns, but our product is top of the line and will change your life. Let me tell you all about its amazing features. No thanks. So, I'm on the phone with this customer, and she's being super pushy and aggressive. She's like, you need to sell me something, or else you'll be fired. And I'm just sitting there thinking, girl, please. But then I remembered what Rachel said, so I tried to use the script. But it was ridiculous. The customer laughed at me and told me to stop using it. She said I sounded like a robot. I felt so humiliated, I didn't know what to do. So I just apologized and offered her a refund, which, of course, she rejected. After that call, Rachel comes over the intercom and says, "Great job on using the script." No, she doesn't get it. She just thinks I need to work harder and be more obedient. I'm like, "Rachel, this script is a joke. It's not how you treat customers." But she just tells me to keep trying and that she'll be over there if I need any help. I, 25M, have been working as a freelance writer for a small company that specializes in creating content for their clients' social media channels. They pay me per article, and it's usually around $500 to $750 per piece. Last week, I received an email from my clients saying they wanted me to rewrite an article I had written for them about 6 months ago. The catch was that the new version had to be exactly the same length as the original, but with some key phrases removed and replaced with completely different ones. I politely asked if this was a mistake, but they insisted it was a requirement. They even went so far as to tell me that if I didn't comply, they would have to re-evaluate our working relationship. So, I did what I thought was right. I rewrote the article without changing its length or content, but when I submitted it back to them, they said it wasn't good enough and that I needed to make some substantial changes. Substantial changes meant removing a lot of key information and phrases that were actually important to the article. It felt like they wanted me to rewrite the entire thing from scratch, but without telling me what specific things they didn't like. I tried to explain to them that this was unreasonable and that I wouldn't be able to produce high-quality work if they kept making these demands. But they just kept saying that it was a requirement and that I needed to follow their instructions to the letter. At this point, I felt like I was being taken advantage of. They were basically asking me to rewrite the article multiple times until I got it right, without giving me any feedback or guidance on what specifically was wrong with my previous attempts. I decided to push back and told them that I wouldn't continue working on this project unless they agreed to communicate with me about their expectations and provide more detailed feedback. They refused, saying that I was being difficult and that they would have to find someone else to do the work. Now, I'm waiting to hear back from them, but I'm not holding my breath. Part of me is wondering if I overreacted, but another part of me thinks I had every right to stand up for myself and set boundaries in our working relationship. So AI Tia for pushing back on their demands and refusing to rewrite the article multiple times?